This is Igbo Area TV.
Hello. Why Anioma Igbo are the way they are? Why Anioma Igbo are the way they are? I have always heard that my Igbo people west of Niger remain less in dynamism because they got inclined to the west rather than to their east brethren. But this was not their making. Colonial Britain that applied anthropology to governance chose to put a linguistic group in two different parts of east and west of the Niger. The Igbo west of the Niger have no business being in western Nigeria under the cultural overlord of the Yoruba. After escaping the Yoruba overlords, the Igbo west of Niger, now recently called Anioma Igbo, fought for their own Midwest region with Benin as capital, along with their other minority victims like Benin, Izon, Ijo, Isoko, Urobo, etc., away from their Yoruba majority. The Western Igbo produced the first regional prime minister through Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe's NCNC political party in the person of Chief Dennis Osadebe. But this was very short-lived. What happened after the 1966 coup brought an end to all the regions, leading to the political creation of 12 states meant to weaken the Biafran struggle for freedom, thus leading to their loss of political and social status like their Eastern Igbo brethren. It was all part of the fallout, the consequences of Nigerian Biafran civil war. The loss of a place of pride continued since. So they moved from the political control of the Yoruba to that of the Benin under the new state called Bendel State. And when that state was split into two, Western Igbos were put under the new Delta State, under a new domination of the Urobos, who took control after the military rule. Can you quantify what damage all of this had on my people? Consider it some kind of 60 years of internal colonialism under 3 different overlords, each with its ways. Their Eastern Igbo brethren were all these 60 years enjoying the rulership of themselves by themselves, developing on their own terms along with their aggregating sense of their Igbo-ness. If you add these 60 years of being under others to the physical separation of the Western Igbo from their Eastern brethren by the lordly Niger River, then you begin to appreciate the profound physical and psychological effects they all combine to have on them, the Western Igbos, and on their relationship across east of the Niger. Though the river never stopped our ancestral parents in their east-west, west-east migrations, but the colonialists chose to use the Niger River as a natural divide for splitting the country into northern, eastern, and western Nigeria for their administrative convenience. So, our mutual separation moved from a geographical divide into a political interpretation for the political administration of the country. From the very start, therefore, colonialism separated the broadly spread Igbos across the whole of southern Nigeria of their ancestors. This is the long history of the political division of the Igbo East and the west of the Niger River. From the British colonial administrative division that disregarded their own modus operandi of being anthropologically guided in their administrative governance of the colonial territories, in accordance with grouping people according to their kind, they played bad and devious politics against the Igbo, whom they most dreaded among Nigerians for being well ahead of time, to the official persecution of the Igbo by the Nigerian state, whose post-Civil War politics followed sheepishly the divide and rule method of the British against Nigerians and the Igbo in particular. From the Yoruba, the Benin, the Urobo, 60 years of political leadership from pre-independent self-rule of the Western Igbo till only recently that they produced the governor of Delta State in 2015. Igbos west of the Niger have never had control over their destiny. This is same thing faced by the Igbos of Benue. Their case is that they are even more in number than the Idomas around them. But they are not allowed to rule Benue. They can vote, but they are not allowed to be voted for. That is what is happening in Benue. Okay, let's continue. All through colonial times to this day, their brethren east of the Niger had never had to have any such problems. Southeast Igbo had no such problems faced by Anioma Igbos. Collectively, they were building their common Igbo-ness under their own leadership in cultural and developmental policies and execution of the same, one of which was finding a common tongue for all dialects in Igbo land east of the Niger. Their western brethren lost out on all that because they were under a different region where their Igbo-ness was not a priority among the big cultural mix they found themselves in. Or better put, where they were abandoned away from their own and their kind. The now Niger Delta people and the Igbo among them were even luckier because they were under eastern Nigeria and so had a common access to the Igbo leadership from there. But it was not so for the Igbo west of the Niger, now known as Anioma Igbo. They were far more deprived of their Igbo cultural and developmental commonwealth. The geographical separation and the political persecution and the marginalization of their kind in the east of the Niger bore their telling marks and consequences on their sense of self and self-identity. This also applies to other siblings in the present Niger Delta that has now been separated from eastern Nigeria, where they shared a stronger sense of kind and kin before the war, but now badly messed up after the Nigerian Biafra War. The worst of its victims being the Ikwere and Igbo offshoot that now swear against its Igbo-ness in spite of all the undeniable evidences to the contrary. The Igbo have therefore become like separating a triplet into 3 different regions. However physically identical the triplets may be and remain, their orientation, behavior, and attitude will certainly not be the same. Whenever they meet and interact, each will come to the table with the environment and culture that shaped them. Misunderstanding and prejudice will begin to affect their interpretations of one another because they grew up on the 3 different song sheets. This explains for me the dissonance, the disharmony among the Igbo siblings from the east and west of the Niger, along with their Niger Delta, and perhaps the less spoken for and the less defended Igbo or the Nigerian Middle Belt among the present Kogi and Benue peoples. The challenge is to turn the table around by providing a common cultural song sheet for them all. That done, their oneness is established through a teaching of their shared language, culture, and history, including those they shared with other groups neighborly or distant from them that must never be denied. Either the one they share with the Benin, the Igala, the Ibibio, and even the Jews. This material was provided by Chike Ofili. Thanks for listening to Igbo Area TV. Please subscribe to our channels for more updates. You can visit our Facebook page, Igbo Area TV, our Facebook group, Igbo Area TV. Join the group, please. Like the page. Bye for now.